Hey, I'm just quickly jumping in here before we get into today's conversation. If you're enjoying the podcast, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Click that little bell button to get notified when the new episodes come out. And if you'd like to support Paramount Importance even further, please check out our website, paramountimportance.com. We've got some awesome merch there. They've got these cool shirts, these cool hats, all environmentally friendly and the highest quality we could go. It generally helps us keep on doing what we are doing, spreading the word of science, inspiring a whole bunch more people. It really helps us out. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Let's go. Paramount Importance. Well, it's been absolutely amazing what you've accomplished so far in your life. Usually on this podcast, we're speaking to academics, people that have been working and researching in a field. But you've been on TV shows. You've spoken to Steve Backshall, and was it on Deadly 60?
Yeah, we filmed an episode.
Yeah, and then Gardening Australia with Costa, talking about the peacock jumping spiders, which are these little spiders that are remarkable. They've got all these colours, which you're going to tell me all about them soon. But what you've done so far, because you're quite young. How old are you?
I turned 18 a few months ago.
Oh, right. Wow. But what you've achieved is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Can we start with telling what is a peacock jumping spider?
Peacock spiders are, they're a species of jumping spider, as you just said. They're about the size of a grain of rice, and they are what I would compare to the birds of paradise in the jumping spider world. So the males have these fantastic, bright, vivid colors and complex displays that they produce in front of the females as, it's a courtship display. They're trying to copulate or mate in the end. They're just a tiny, colorful jumping spider. I think that's the best way to describe them.
Yeah, the photography and filming of them as well that you've done, it's incredible. Like the colors, the dancing, everything is just like, you've done an amazing job, and hence why you've absolutely blown up in the social media world. How did you first find them?
So it all started back in lockdown. My school shut down for quite a few months, end on end. So I was spending a lot of time at home, and I was just looking around the garden, and it was one afternoon in October. I was just looking in my rose garden, and it was almost like a beam of light from heaven came down and shone on this one spot of fence in my front yard, and there was a peacock spider right on there. And I lost my mind when I saw it, because I didn't even know we had peacock spiders in Australia. I thought there was something, lived in a tropical rainforest in South America far away or something. I didn't know they were here.
Yeah, I think when I first saw them online, I thought the same thing. And then it was only when you contacted me, when I started seeing your Instagram page, and then I didn't even realize you were in Perth. And then so I was like, oh my God, this is right in our backyard.
Yeah.
Like, incredible.
Yeah, it started in the backyard.
Yeah.
So
and then where did the passion to start photography and filming them, where did that come from?
So before jumping spiders, I used to keep pet tarantulas and scorpions. And I contacted Flynn Prawl, another peacock spider photographer, and I asked him if he wanted to come over and photograph some of my big bugs, because they're more exotic ones that he wouldn't have seen. So he came over, and I thought he would have this massive, complex camera setup, but it was pretty underwhelming when I saw it. Like, it didn't look that complicated or expensive. I mean, they're expensive in general. So that one, compared to most cameras, was pretty cheap, considering the pricing. And I thought, what? I have these insects as pets, but, there'll come a point when they'll perish. But if I take a photo of it, I have the photo forever. The photo lasts forever. So I would much rather have photos that last forever than something that. So that's when I started pursuing getting a camera and starting to photograph them. And then I thought, well, I may as well shoot peacock spiders as well while I'm at it. And then after shooting one peacock spider, I don't think I've looked back, and it's just been like an addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many different peacock spiders are there? Probably, let's start like more in the regional space.
So in WA alone, you're looking at around the mid 70s in amount of species. I mean, the specific number changes a lot because there's more species being added and some species being reclassified. So the number jumbles around a lot. But I would say just in Western Australia, we have about 75-ish, around about that. And then across all of Australia and the surrounding islands around Australia, there's probably close to 115, 120 total species. So more than half the species are here in Western Australia.
Yeah, yeah. Why is that? Is there a theory to why that is, or?
Yeah, I don't know. It's still one of the many mysteries.
Do they have a pretty unique distribution methods? Like some of and I spoke to Pedro and Hector about the distribution of certain orb weaving spiders and how some spiders like put a web up in the air and they fly with the wind. And do they do any crazy like distributions, or are they sort of like their ranges are pretty small?
Well, it's an interesting question because when we think we know something about peacock spiders, they often prove us wrong pretty quickly. Like species like Muratus cereae, which is found in the Stirling Ranges, a mountain range in the southwest of Western Australia. It was only known from the top of Bluff Knoll, which is the tallest mountain in that region, which I can say I have climbed. That is not a very fun climb, but yeah. And then in recent years, like the last 2 years, people have been finding Muratus cereae on top of all the other peaks in the Stirling Ranges now. So we thought that this spider was just refined to one mountain, but then we find, it's on this mountain and this mountain and this mountain. So somehow it splits along. And then there's another spider species, Muratus cari, who lives at the bottom of Bluff Knoll, which looks pretty similar to Muratus cereae. The biggest difference is in size. With that, cereae is the largest peacock spider species.
How big is the largest peacock species?
I think that one's about 5 to 7 millimeters.
All right.
They range
tiny still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smallest ones are about 1 to 2 millimeters in size. So it's a lot of fun looking for those species.
Oh, I can imagine. Is there anything particular that stands out when you're looking for them? Because like I've gone looking for spiders in the bush and it's very hard to find them, especially when you want to find them. They don't seem to be there. But
yeah, I mean, look, peacock spider hunting is a lot of frustrating days, a lot of days of finding nothing, a lot of days of traveling far and coming home empty-handed. But yeah, when I'm out there and I'm looking, I'm always looking for that jumping movement or running, because peacock spiders will do one or the other. They'll do a short run or a jump. So whenever I'm scanning the ground, I'm just looking for those movements. And sometimes I just wave my hand over the top of the ground, because if there's a jumping spider standing still, it will make it jump so then I can see where it is. So there's ways, there's techniques that you can use to find them. When I was starting out, I trained my eyes on ants just in the backyard, just looking at ants and other jumping spiders in the backyard. But different species of jumping spider will do different movements. So there's another species in Australia called Jotis. They're pretty close to Muratus. But when we're out looking for them, sort of I can just see how quickly Jodis move so much more faster than Maratus do. So when I see that jump, I know straight away that's a Jodis because I can see how quickly it moves. I mean, I've been doing this for a few years now, so I've become pretty tuned in to just drowning out everything that isn't a peacock spider. But yeah, there's a lot of hard days.
Yeah, I can imagine so. As when you've of that 75 species regionally, have you ticked off every one, or is there still a few?
Yeah, there's still a few that I need to get, but some of them are in some pretty tough places to get to. So I'm still working on.
What are the tough places?
So there's Muratus ceruleus, which means blue. It lives on Middle Island off the coast of Esperance.
Right.
So I need to find a way to get out to Middle Island. I mean, I was considering swimming out there at one point, but someone reminded me that there is great white sharks down there.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably not the best idea to try swimming it.
No, definitely not. Be amazing snorkel, though. It's pretty awesome diving down there.
Yeah. Oh, that island looks pretty cool in general. They have the pink lake in the middle of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is a green algae.
Is it really?
Yes.
I've always wondered about how they get pink.
Yeah, it's a green algae that has a red keratin. I think I'm correct with that. That produces that red color.
Wow.
Or pink color.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, we've had a couple estuaries that have gone that color.
Really?
As like the algae. So, for example, the Hammersley Inlet in Hopetown, which is on the south coast of WA, that got extremely hypersaline. In fact, actually became the world's saltiest estuary.
Wow.
Which was a salinity of 345 parts per thousand. And in comparison, seawater is 35 and drinking water is 0. So extremely, extremely salty. The Dead Sea is 350 parts. But the only thing that was living in that water that we could see was that green algae, and which made that essentially like a pink lake, it was quite interesting at the times because there was a lot of people and media around when that happened. They were taking photos, posting it saying, oh, look how pretty this is. But really, it's actually a really sad sign because it's an estuary. It completely lost its function of what an estuary does, which I know I'm getting off topic here, but this is my passion of research. And one of the things I noticed within that area, so obviously there was no fish in there, no invertebrates living in the water, but there was actually no birds, no bugs. Like there was a lot of, because we were doing a field trip for, it was just under a month going along the coastline, and every estuary that we're at, there's mosquitoes and midges around. When we got to here, there was none of that. And that is because those insects have an aquatic life phase. And because it was so salty, there was no areas for them to, continue their life cycle. So there was just nothing there. And as we should all know that insects, especially like your midges and mosquitoes, are hugely important for, like, they're near the start of the food chain, food web. So not having them around also impacted so many other species. So the way I sort of described it when I've talked about it to other people is that it was kind of like walking into a haunted house. Like it was very eerie because it was like everything was there, but no animals or insects or anything was around. It was just
a ghost town.
It was just a ghost town. Yeah. So completely off topic about from Middle Island, but I do know some contacts down there. So maybe one day we could try to get you out to this island as well.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my favorite species. So I would love to see that one day.
Right. So how is it your favorite species without seeing it?
Because I see the
pictures
of other people's work on it. It's a really stunning one.
Right. Yeah, blue is my favorite color. So
blue's my favorite color too.
Yeah, you'll have to show me a picture of it after the podcast.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. So is there other ones as well that are quite hard to get to?
Yeah. There's a few that are hard to get to. There's Muratus kirikara, which is from a salt lake on the northern West Australia, Northern Territory border, all the way up the top. just a random salt lake, and it's indigenous protected land as well. So you're not allowed to go onto the land or anything. I'm sure like there are people that I could contact about getting permission to go up there, but it's also about being able to get up there as well, because it's such a far trek, and it's in the middle of nowhere as well. So you have to try and find somewhere you could stay out at. So
bit of camping.
yeah. Well, a lot of the time it does. These adventures do take us camping to access some of these spots. Yeah.
You've also rediscovered while doing this some species that people thought were extinct. Is that?
Yes. Yeah. So the story with that begins in November, I want to say 3-4 years ago. There was 3 people, Nick, Lucy, and Reef, and they went into the Eglinton sand dunes, and they were looking for some other reptile. I forget which reptile it was exactly, but it was a rare one, I was told. And while looking for that on a pile of dead twigs, Reef saw a little jump. And there was this really old, discolored male with like his scales sort of half fallen off and everything. Like just looked very tatty. He took a photo of it and collected a sample, gave it to the scientist, and he said, "This is new." But Nick and Lucy don't live in WA. They went back to the Northern Territory. I think they do cruise ship stuff now. And Reef does FIFO. And when he comes in, he stays down south. So he's nowhere near Eglinton sand dunes. So I went out with Reef at the end of the year, like December, looking for some moths or something. And he told me about this spider. So he gave me rough coordinates of where it was, like it's in this area of dune. So I visited that site 6 times throughout the year and tried searching for the spider. Some of them I went with Flynn, my other macro photographer pal, and we just kept visiting this site time after time after time. And just one morning, I saw it. There it was, a fresh male in color on the top of the bush, and I was freaking out, and I called Flynn over, and we joke about this stuff sometimes because Flynn thought I was joking when I said that. So we found the species, and yeah, that was incredible to find the first time, but it was probably about 100 meters, 200 meters back. There was a housing development starting. So they were scalping the land. Like just there's all this, there is a lot of weeds there, but a lot of native stuff there too. And it was just getting leveled to sand. Like there's nothing but sand and a couple overturned roots. So that was a really big concern because when I contacted Nick about finding the spider again, we were sort of looking at where the development's planning to go. And the development's basically just clearing all the way through to the sea, and they're building another boat harbour place at the end of it. From the map I've seen of what they're planning to do. So we thought, well, we got to get this spider described, and then we've got to try and get it protected somehow so that little pocket of land that it lives on is okay. Because we found it like here and then like a couple 100 meters down the path in a similar patch of bush. We tried looking over on the other bush on the other side of the dunes, where there is a development coming there, but it's many, many more years off. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any there, just other species of more common peacock spider. So nothing you can kick up a fuss about. But time was our worst enemy. Because sort of once all this happened, we were able to get specimens off to the scientist to get him to describe it as quickly as possible. But, in the end, these developments, they move so quickly. And come the start of last year, I got a text from one of my friends saying, you might want to go up and check the site again. So drove up there and it's all scalped.
It's gone.
Scalped to the ground. Except like there was a little patch of bush still left in the front that was getting ready to be scalped. And they put up this thick fencing all around it as well to keep people out. Didn't want anyone going in there anymore.
So they probably knew about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a couple news articles that came out. So I do wonder whether those news articles sort of gave a bit of unwanted attention from the wrong people to it.
I'd say so. Yeah, it's big evil corporations, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and a bunch of asbestos showed up on the property as well. I mean, it's a bit of a trash dumping ground, but a bit of asbestos. So they put up signs, you can't enter this land anymore because it's, there's a contamination risk with asbestos here and all that. So another macro photographer dude went back there and found the ant chip this year, but that spot was set to get scalped this year. I haven't been back to check, but I'm almost certain that spot would have been scalped by now, just judging how quickly they are moving, and it's part of the plan, so it is going to get cleared. So at that point, sort of said, well, the species is basically extinct at this point because we don't know where else it could occur.
So for people probably needing to understand is that some of these species distribution ranges are really small. Like this is something I learned in the previous podcast I did with Hector and Pedro, that some of the species ranges are like football size fields areas, even smaller, right? Like they don't, one species can occur in only just that amount. So potentially, as you mentioned, it's been wiped out. The whole species is just, they've come through to put a big building and just taken away species.
Yep. And, it's such a sad thing to sit there and watch. And there's not, we did everything we could in that situation. There was no rock left unturned. To get it listed as a protected species, you need more data, sort of more survey data to say, look, you need to scan the other dune systems and say, well, it only occurs here. You need to be able to do all that. But these are seasonal animals. They're only out for like a month, maybe a month and a half of the year in proper color. So, we only get a month and a half a year to do all that, to get all that. So it's so hard to do.
What month?
So this species, Miratus yanchip, I found that first one that I was telling you about earlier. I found that in July, and I found them all the way through to first third of September. So like 11th of September and beyond that.
So it's few months, but not like a full season.
Yeah. It's a really, really short window. Like we're talking late July through to first chunk of September.
Okay.
Is the window, but the later you go, the less luck you have finding them. So surveying an animal like that is really hard. Whereas, some animals are a lot easier to survey because they're around all year. So yeah, just weren't able to.
So what happened after? So it's been cleared, and you were mentioning that your friend told you about going back up there, or
yeah. So him mentioning about going back up there, that was to find it the first time.
Okay.
When I found the first ones in color next to the development. But then just recently towards the end of this last year, sorry, I'm still living in 2025. Towards the end of last year, or sort of that later patch, I decided, well, I'm just going to go a little bit further north and check a couple of dune systems. And I found what I believe is a Muratus yanchep male at sort of just a random pocket of bush, pretty like, I want to say 11 kilometers north of where the old site was. So not that far. So it's good to see that, but I want to go back next season and confirm that they're really there before we start everything rolling in motion. Like I said earlier, these are seasonal animals, so you get that small window of opportunity to do everything, and then you have to wait again for them to reappear. So,
do different species reappear in different parts of the times of the year, or are they all around that period of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of people come over from different areas, like whether it's the eastern states or overseas, and they're like, well, I want to come and see peacock spiders. Can you take me out? Can you show me some? Can you tell me where to find some? But they always come at the worst time of the year to look for them. They are seasonal animals, but the season is very population dependent. So, for instance, my local species, Muratus clupiatus, I found one in color at the very, very end of May 31st. Found one male in color. But I found them in color all the way through to halfway through to July. So they're like a June, July, and maybe a couple scamper into August. Whereas there's another species, Muratus bacatus, the smallest one in WA. That one, I think, is one of the few that you can find year round, just depending on the spot, because they're such a widespread species. They go all the way south to Albany, like the south point of Western Australia. And I found them going up to Kalbarri, so sort of...
Right, so they can handle a wide range of temperatures.
Yeah, it depends on the species. There are some species...
And different habitats.
Yeah. The habitats can change up a bit too.
Right.
Like I'll be looking for a completely different species and I'll just see that one there. What are you doing here? But you can have like 2 or 3 occur in the same area. So they often where you find one, you might be able to find another. Except your front yard, there's normally only 1 or 2 species in your front yard.
Really?
Yeah, and that's across all of Australia, basically.
Because it's such a small like habitat, or
it's just the really widespread ones that thrive in gardens.
Okay,
like they well adapt to all the
right. So if you were like people that are planting gardens, and they want to increase the diversity of, say, like everything from native bees to spiders, would it like, is there certain plants that maybe you can like plant to help have a bigger diversity of these peacock spiders? Or
yeah, I mean, peacock spiders, they love native grasses. So
right, okay.
I always go for lamandra, and they do like sword sedge as well, and they like succulents. They love succulents for some reason. So
really, the non-native succulents, or
pig face is very popular.
Okay, yeah, the native one
with Muratus. Though I have seen them loving non-native succulents as well. But if you're just strictly going for a native garden, I would go honeypot banksias. It depends whether you can fit a big tree in as well, because Muratus love living under trees. They love living in shrubs under trees. So if you can plant like a larger banksia, like a bull banksia, or some form of gum tree or other banksia, they really love living under that in the leaf litter. And then smaller shrubs, they love hibbertia. They love our native reeds. I forget what the scientific name for them is, but yeah, they love
Jungus, maybe.
I don't.
No.
I couldn't tell you.
Me either. There's one that I know that lives in estuaries, but that's about it.
Yeah. I'm much more of a spider specialist than a plant specialist. I'm only just starting to learn that stuff.
Well, you've done very well so far in naming all the different species. A bit before you mentioned that that first discovery of that species, you said the scales. Now, I know a lot of people probably thinking right now, it's like, what? Scales on the spider? And the peacock spiders we've alluded to that they have these amazing colours in the short period of the year. Something that hasn't been seen in many other animals except, I guess, the peacock itself. Hence probably where the names come from.
Yeah.
And they have peacocks themselves don't quite have the diversity of colours that these spiders do. But how do males produce their, I guess, the visual signals? And that blue and green, that comes from the scales, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the reds and yellows are like from brush-like hairs?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's actually, when I saw you list this question out, I lit up because in this past year, I've been helping with a research project specifically on scales of peacock spiders. So I've learnt quite a lot about the scales.
Oh, awesome. Tell me more. Tell me all about it.
So you're correct. The blues and greens, they're not pigments.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's structural color. So it's produced by nanostructures in the scale. And these nanostructures, they sort of behave a bit like a kaleidoscope in a way where, you get the full ray of sunlight with all the colors and everything hits the scale and then bounces around in the structure, and the structure deflects the light different colors in different ways. So there's some species that just do blue. So the structure for that is very uniform. And there's species like Muratus chrysomylus, the variable peacock spider, amply named, because when you look at it, it changes color depending on the angle because of how the nanostructures are shaped. They deflect light at different angles.
Oh, no way.
So, you look at it from over the top and it's more of a golden color. You look at it from the back and it's more of a greeny blue color. And from the side, it's more of a purpley color. And it's like a rainbow peacock spider. It just changes color depending on the angle.
That is amazing.
So, yeah.
That's my favorite one.
Well, I have to show you some of that stuff after the podcast. But yeah, the blue scales and stuff like that, they sort of work a bit more like butterfly scales work. So yeah, it's a similar sort of physics to butterfly scales. And the reds and yellows, yes, they are pigment produced. So when the few times that I've seen peacock spiders at nighttime, because you can still find them at night.
Right. So they're active all the time.
They're not active per se, but you can just catch them out sitting on a leaf at night or something. Because I know Flynn was down at this BioBlitz down in Walpole.
Oh, we filmed the doco down there.
Yeah. And he was out looking for sun frogs at a swamp at night just after it rained.
On the peatlands.
Yeah, on the peatlands. Yeah. And there was a peacock spider sitting in the middle of a sedgy plant in the middle of the swamp.
Right. I may have met Flynn, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was filming with James.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think there's probably about, I want to say, I'm trying not to forget anyone. I don't want to make anyone mad, but I think there's about four main people in WA who really love to do peacock spiders and live and breathe it. And that's Paul, Flynn, and James, and me. But all those other three guys, they've been doing it much longer than I've been doing it. And I've just sort of been a sponge to all their previous information. It's great talking with other people like them, because we all have these ideas and we're able to bounce back these ideas. So, one of us might have a theory about how they do this. So, they'll text the group chat about this theory and we'll discuss it. So we're a pretty tight-knit group of people in WA who do peacock spiders.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's great to learn, like, it's, many minds together makes a big difference.
Yeah. And having different perspectives is so valuable, because what I've found is someone can show you something that you've never even thought of looking at it that way before. It's like looking at the color on Muratus chrysomelis. Like, you only look at it from one side and you only get to see one color. But someone says, "Oh, look from the back," and you see a completely different color. It's like that, having so many different inputs. None of us are qualified scientists by any degree.
I can guarantee what you're doing now is essentially a science.
Yeah.
You're a scientist, but without the degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
do you want to go to uni?
Well, that's the age-old question, isn't it? But I'm still thinking about it. Because I would like to do spiders and research spiders full time, or just insects in general. I think would be so cool. But I also need to think about, in today's economy, you need to be able to have a stable job. And right now there is no demand at all in that sort of field. So to me, I've sort of been weighing up, is it worth going to uni and studying all these years if I come out on the other side and there's no jobs available? Because Joseph Schubert, he's a peacock spider specialist and huntsman specialist. I think he spent the last 6 or 7 years studying peacock spiders at university, and I think he just completed his PhD in the last year, and there's no job opportunities for him coming out on the. He hasn't been able to find a secure job, and he resorts to stocking shelves at Woolies, and whether it's bricklaying or and that's what I'm weighing up. Is there a job that I can do that sort of still keeps me in the field? Like maybe being a ranger or something. I can still be out in the bush and looking at things.
So I think you've raised a lot of points, and sometimes that is the harsh reality of being a biologist of any sort. But you've also got passion. And sometimes that passion is what drives you to keep going and persisting and finding. And then within universities, it can open up more doors and new passions, new areas, still within that area. For me, like, fish was always my passion growing up. And my parents said to me, had that same question. It's like, are you sure you want to pursue marine science? Like, I was never that bright at school. Like, I struggled to even get into university. And then, but for me, it was, I want to study fish, and there's nothing else in the world that I want to do. Like, that was everything. And I wanted to, at the time when I first started uni, I wanted to go into the deep ocean. I wanted to research the most craziest places. And then when I came to university, I met my supervisor and work colleague and boss, I guess, who I have now, and he opened the door to me to researching estuaries. And then I just became completely infatuated, just super passionate about estuaries. Still working with fish in estuaries and still working in fish and marine embayments, marine embayments or coastal environments. But when you've got passion, you get driven, and people notice that, and you find ways and opportunities open up. The work you're already doing now, you haven't even gone to university and you sound like a scientist. I can guarantee, whatever you want to do, you'll find a way. It's and working in your passion and what you do, you never work a day in your life. Technically, you're working many days, but what it feels like, you're out in the bush, you're out exploring, you're out doing things. all these amazing opportunities. And yes, sometimes you have to sit at a computer for a long period of time and analyze some data or write some reports. Not necessarily all the time. There's plenty of jobs that are just all field based. As you said, like some of the ranger jobs, that's what it's like. If that's your passion driven, for me, it's always been like, that goal of like wanting to conserve the environment and find ways we can all live harmoniously with it. Like I grew up fishing, hunting, diving, doing all that kind of stuff. And like, I don't want to lose doing that. So I want to like find ways to conserve our environment to still be able to live within it. So yeah, whatever you decide to do, but it is a great opportunity. And the things you're doing, it's pretty remarkable. The knowledge you already have about these species of spiders, incredible. You know more than a lot of people in that area of like arachnology. I think I've said it right. May have missed a syllable in there, but
I think that's right. But
yeah, so whatever you want to do, like you're so young as well. You've got plenty of time.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the other thing too is I was sort of pondering whether, there's a way that I could just make a living off filming WA wildlife.
There's so many different opportunities. Yeah.
That's my dilemma at the moment, is there's so many doors and I don't know which one to walk through and start with. But I have an offer. There's a research project on peacock spiders they're going to try and get all the proper funding for it. I think they already lodged all the stuff for it, and that's with I think there's one person from the University of Amsterdam and Cambridge are getting in on it too. And this is a different project to the last few. I think it's going to be more on the scales side of things, and maybe male on male conflicts.
Right.
And they said, if everything falls through, we would love to sign you on as a research assistant on the project.
Amazing.
So I think they get word halfway through this year whether they get all the funding and stuff for it. Mm-hmm. So I might be able to get paid. To
do
start.
It. That's where I started as a research assistant and still am technically, I guess. I've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is. That's amazing opportunity. Jump for that. Well, I want to. You've alluded to it briefly, but why do the males do this dancing?
Okay, so the dancing is part of sexual selection, and it's in a nutshell, it's basically to convince a female to mate with them. Now, if a male doesn't perform to her standards or what she likes, 9 times out of 10, with all the dancers I've seen, the female will just ignore him. Like we're talking a matter of seconds as well when this happens. So like you'll be looking at a male and a female in a bush and the male's like slowly stalking her around, basically because, well, I don't know whether it's been proven or not, but I have a theory that the females leave some sort of chemical or pheromone in their little safety lines that they hop between branches, and the males are able to pick up on that and follow the females exactly.
Right.
So that's how they're able to find each other so well.
Safety lines, is it like a little bit of web or just?
Yeah. So like you've got one stick here and the female's just sitting up on the stick, and you'll see her spinnerets just attach a little thread of silk, and then when she hops over to the next stick, the thread of silk stretches out. So if she misses that, she just dangles from it and she can climb back up the silk.
No way.
And then she'll try again or something else. So when we're looking for peacock spiders, we normally look for these little safety lines that they leave around everywhere in the habitat. Like you see a pile of sticks and they've got all these little bits of web or little lines, single strands of web everywhere.
Making a mess.
Yep. Yeah, they love to make a mess. So yeah, I think personally the males follow those safety lines. They must have some sort of pheromone on them or something, because males can discern what's a female and what's a male safety line. And the male will hop on like a stick behind her or a branch adjacent to her, and she'll see something hopping around her, so she'll turn around and look straight at him. And the display could last like 10 seconds or like 1 second. You know, like he just quickly goes up and she turns away and wanders off. Like,
Right.
I'm not interested. And the females, like if a male is very persistent or has it sort of cornered in one way, like right up against a branch or something, the female will face away from the male. So her butt will be facing the front of the male, and she'll stand up on her tippy toes, and she'll raise her butt up in the air and wiggle the back of her butt at him to sort of say, hey, I'm not interested. And that sign does not necessarily mean that female's already mated, because virgin females do that as well sometimes if the male's just not up to standard, not up to scratch. I think this is a good segue as well to talk about their multimodal courtship displays. Peacock spiders are so fascinating because a lot of people just think it's all visuals. You know, it's all the raising of the butt and the waving of the hands and the abdomen. I should say third legs. I shouldn't say hands. Doesn't sound very scientific, does it?
I think we all got the picture, but we know it does look like waving though. Like, you're right. Their arms are going like, hello.
yeah, exactly. So a lot of people think it's just the visuals like that, but it's actually a lot more than just a visual. It's a dance and a song.
A song.
Because the males sort of sing to them through vibrations. They you can't really see it too well with the naked eye, but this is some of the stuff Cambridge has been doing. Is they've been setting up these dances like over fish nets, and they've had it's like this laser contraption thing that records all the vibrations, and like each species has sort of got its own like set of vibration. Like the males do these vibrations to the females as well, and you know the females have got these leg hairs that pick up these vibrations. So it's not just the visuals, it's this sort of song and dance.
No way.
They're judging as well.
That is incredible. I didn't know that when I was delving into the research of this.
And there's some species like Pavonus. Pavonus is a big group. There's a lot of Pavonus types. But the Pavonus species, midway through their dance, the males pause and their third legs completely flatten out like they're a plane ready to take off. You know, they stretch their third legs out and their abdomen goes flat with their head, and they just bang their body really fast. It's like they do like a really quick tap and then go back to dancing again, and then another quick tap and then go back to dancing again.
Setting the baseline.
Yeah. And at my local spot, all these Pavonus, they live under these bullbanksias, and these bullbanksias, they sort of got this curve to them. It's sort of like a conductor in a way, like it personifies the sound. So if you go there like in peak season when all the males are out and all the females are out, they're all over the bullbanksias, you can actually sort of hear some of the faint tapping.
Oh, really?
Tapping on the leaves, yeah.
Wow.
Not many species do that big tapping. Just the ones in that group, that Pavonus group.
No way. That is amazing.
Yeah.
James did tell me about some of the successful mating, and that the females or the males. One of them they'd put their hands, I'm saying hands, put their legs as like patting or hugging the opposite sex. No,
Yeah.
as well.
So as the males come in, they sort of dance like till they're sort of right in front of her face, and then as they're coming in, it's normally like the front two legs, I want to say, come up and they sort of just tap the female on the head and then pull themselves up over her head with that tap that pull themselves up over. And then they rotate her abdomen 180 degrees and they get to business with the palps.
Yeah, right. That is amazing. What is there's a very humanistic feature in a way, the tap on the head, giving a hug,
yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
And when they mate, the males, they have this sort of tube that's stored up in the palp. So when they mate, they shove this whole longish tube inside the female to inject the sperm. And that was actually one of the coolest things I did with this species that we thought went extinct right as Yanship. I was able to film in slow motion the male pulling his palp out, and you see this big long thing come out and then retract, twist back up in behind the pedipalp.
Oh, no way. That's an amazing bit of footage. We have to find a way to when this podcast comes out, to link some of these videos in. That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm having a mental blank now. There was something I was going to say.
About the palp going inside.
Yes, yeah, the palps. The palps are a very popular part of the peacock spider. People love the fluffy white palps at the front. They think it's like cute little beards and stuff. Not a lot of people realize that that's actually the mating organ of the spider that's attached to the face. And Flynn actually found.
So they're mating organs on their face.
Yeah, basically.
It's a weird visual if you imagine if that was a human, but
yes, yeah, I don't think I want to imagine that as a human.
I know a few people that probably seem like they have one on there like that, but anyway, that's
these palps are very fluffy as well. They've got a lot of these sort of nice fluffy hairs on them, and a lot of the time you see that's what they use to wipe their eyes with. If they get little bits of sand on their eyes, their palps come up and they just wipe, like windscreen wipers.
Yeah,
just wipe it off.
Amazing. Using their sexual organs to clean their face, but also using as, I guess they have 8 eyes, right? And they need to keep them clean.
I think they can only really clean the front 4 because the other back 4 are located on the back of the head. So they have basically 360-degree vision of the.
Oh no, more like 270. I'm sure they can't see underneath them. But.
Yeah. It's more like they can sort of see all the way around.
Wow.
Just not underneath or on top.
Okay, I didn't know that. Is that all spiders or just?
No, every spider's sort of got different eye orientations.
Okay.
So the eyes change a lot. But yeah, I think most jumping spiders have similar
interesting
eye orientations like that. And they got these vividly colored eyes as well. Peacock spiders, they got these metallic green and blue, sometimes yellow, sometimes purple. And I've talked to some of the guys about sort of the purpose of the color in the eye when you see it. And I think, I can't remember whether everyone agreed on it or not. Some people might have had other opinions on it. But I think that the eyes are sort of like polarized sunglasses, like the colored polarized sunglasses, sort of block out sun, because peacock spiders, they exist most of the time in full sun.
Well, what you're saying is very so in the research that I was going through this, I found that some species reflect ultraviolet light. So that's pretty much exactly what you're saying, reflecting that sunlight. So, well, so you are correct. Which is in the rest of the question was saying that they have a very unique visual set of eyes as well. They see completely different to what you and I do, and it's part of like with the different colors that they can see the like I guess the ultraviolet light, or I guess it reflects, and all the different colors that they've got with the reflections and is so that's what you're saying is spot on in a way.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So peacock spiders are quite a widespread across the southern half. Actually, that's a question that you've already answered previously, so I'm going to skip that one. When you're photographing them, how do you start? Like, how do you set that up? Because this was something that was quite interesting when I was with James of how we were filming. Is that the technique of like putting that blade and getting two species together, or two, a female and a male?
Yeah, sometimes you do that, and sometimes you can just get lucky enough, and when you're at a spot, you just happen upon some that are already mid-dance or some that are already copulating. But yeah, I mean, this past year, I've spent probably the most time at it. Like, I've spent most days out at spots just sitting there and watching and tracking spiders and stuff. I mean, a lot of people, they see, like a perfect image and they don't realize how many weeks I put in to get that one photo perfect. And, how many terabytes of photos I had to take to get the one at the right angle, the right stuff. So, yeah, sometimes peacock spider dances are set up, but never once.
How do you get them to dance?
Well, when you're setting up a dance, you just you're out there. Excuse me. You're out there in the field habitat or whatever, and I always look at well, what plant are they on? If it's like a grass or something, you might take a blade of grass like what James was showing you, and you set it down and you put a male and a female there, and the male will just go. And if the female's not interested, I only set up my dancers in the hot spot. So if the female's not interested, she just hops away. She continues about her day. Or if the male's not interested, just hop away and continue about their day. And it's basically what I call spider Tinder. I'm just matching males and females. And if they mate, then
fantastic.
Yay.
Yeah.
You're helping the species breed a bit more, yeah. But, if they don't, then just hop off and go on with their day. If I see one that's particularly skinny, I might give it like a little cricket or a mosquito or something, because life's hard enough as it is already.
So you actually can tell like the fitness of a spider.
Yeah, their abdomens can be pretty shrunk sometimes,
right? Wow.
And they look like they're a bit hungry. So give them.
How old do they live?
So the life cycle, we'll say the peacock spider I'm talking about comes in the generalized opening time, which is about spring. So spring's mating season, males mate with females, females eat, get super swollen with eggs, they go to ground, create like a little chamber, and they lay all their eggs. And then the babies emerge. They emerge anywhere from the start to midsummer. And these babies are they're impossible to find when you go, especially some of the habitats. So that's why you can only really find them when it's mating season, because they've got the vivid colors and they're pretty big considering how small the babies are. So babies hatch around summertime-ish, and then throughout autumn, winter, they grow. They just grow and mature up. And then once spring comes around, both males and females for 90% of their life cycle are just brown, like, piece of cold toast,
Bit like also the fairy turns, like the blue wrens.
Yes, exactly like the blue wrens. But then as they mature, as the males mature, they have that final molt and they get all the colors and they get the flaps. They don't have the flaps before that. So the flaps develop and the colors develop in the final molt. So when you find juvenile peacock spiders, like a juvenile male has the same shape as a female, like round abdomen, but he's got the patterning, like it's brown and black. So the black is normally where the outline of where the patterning will be. So like you see a species like Muratus gemmifer with a dot in the middle and then a red line across the top, a red line in the middle and a red line below that. It's a brown abdomen with like a black line here, here, and here. And like you can see a faint pattern starting to come. And then it gets its color and its flaps in the next molt.
And then they mate and then they die?
Yeah. So it's a bit of a mystery really, but I sort of have a bit of a theory on that too. So towards the end of the season, once the females start getting swollen, go to ground with their eggs, all those stringed scent trails that they leave behind across all the habitat, they'll all start to disappear, because the females aren't around anymore to lay them out. And then as that happens, I think the males spread out to try and find more females. They keep searching and they eventually just completely disperse and disappear because you don't really see any more males. So they sort of just spread out and die. They just go on a long, lonely walk and just perish because I think the scent trails is what sort of keeps them into one area. And then as soon as the females disappear, there's no more scent trails. So they got to try and find it. It's in their DNA to keep following it and try and find it. So
they're all valid questions that you could research.
Yeah. There's so many different and complicated aspects of peacock spiders that are unresearched, and it would be nice to have some clear answers on.
Yeah.
But these are just like a lot of this stuff is just my own personal theory. It's not set in stone or anything.
It's where all scientists start.
Yeah.
You have a thought or you come up with a theory and then you test it.
I don't know how I'd test that though. I guess I'd have to.
There'll be ways. Yeah. There'll be ways.
Yeah, I'll figure something.
Yeah. Speak to when you've become that RA, maybe you can speak to those academics and they'll help you design a hypothesis and
I speak to all of them on a regular basis anyway.
Yeah. Well, they can help you like create the project and the research questions and
maybe we could even add that into the project. It'd be a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. Like this has been absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe you're only 18 years old with all this knowledge. It's what you've done is incredible and highly recommend people checking out you on Instagram. Assuming you'll be on TikTok.
No, I'm not.
No, not TikTok, just Instagram.
Yes, I'm trying to keep myself away from social media.
Yeah, it's a horrible place, but quite useful as you found and how we came in contact. So what's your do you want to just say your handle?
It's WA Peacock Jumping Spiders with an underscore under each, separating each one. So WA _ Peacock _ jumping _ spider. It's a very long use of that. When I was writing it originally, I didn't plan on
blowing up.
Yeah, and having to tell people to follow this.
I think even if you just type in peacock spider, I think you come up as the first person.
Probably. So, or if you type in just my regular name, I think I come up.
Michael Lund. Oh, actually, it'll be in the show notes as well. So
yeah,
they'll be able to find that. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in. Like this is honestly amazing. Learned so much today from you. So and hopefully some future things together in the future.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I mean, it's funny. I'm here talking with a marine biologist because my peacock spider is not my favorite animal, My favorite animal is crabs.
Crabs?
Yeah, crabs are my favorite animal.
No way. Wow. Well, most of our lab research is crabs.
Really?
I know a lot. Personally, myself, they've given me a hindrance throughout my fishing career in terms of research career. But I can definitely introduce you to some people that are researching some amazing things with crabs as well. So they're actually in the office and lab today. So if you wanted to, we can have a chat. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in today.
It was an absolute pleasure. This has been such an honor to be on this podcast. So thank you for giving me a bit of airtime.
No, thank you. Paramount importance. This production was recorded at the podcast studios in the Media Arts Centre at Murdoch University. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Murdoch University. Any content provided by the hosts and guests are their personal opinions and are not intended to represent the views or opinions of the university, its administration, faculty, or staff.